I don't know if y'all saw After Party, but can we take a moment to acknowledge Michael's glow up? This definitely changes my predictions because it seemed like Chloe got a handle on him and perfected him. Let's talk about it. Hey y'all, it's your captain for creativity coming at you with the Married at First Sight, Denver Season 17, Episode 13 review. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're returning, welcome back. Let's get into this episode, but let's do it couple by couple because I'm not going through all the boring scenes. All right. So, again, Michael had a big glow up. So, we're going to start with Chloe and Michael. You don't see the glow up in the episode, but by After Party, it made me change my prediction. And I really think that him and Chloe worked out because he looks like he got upgraded a little bit. His style, everything has changed for the better. But when we see Chloe first, she's just said how she went wedding dress shopping the day before. So she's spending this episode and the next day doing more bride shopping, right? To start the episode. And then when you see Michael, it's at this group meetup. And at the group meetup, first you only see the guys, and Brennan is bragging about the reset and saying that, the main point of the reset is that they have no plans. He says either reset or divorce. And then Austin says that Becca is more sexually driven than he is. And at the girls' meetup, Emily says she brought red cups, wine, and tequila with no chaser in a brown bag. So she's going through it. She just want to drink. And Claire is randomly there because I was thinking it was a double date kind of at first when I saw the men. But then Claire is there analyzing Emily, calling her reactive. And I don't like that she's there and Lauren isn't. Because why wasn't Lauren invited? I don't mind Orion not being invited either way. But we know Cam is in the hospital. But Claire, Ben said that she broke up with him. So if it's not, only married couples thing, then I really don't think that Claire should be there. Or if Claire's there, Lauren had every right to be there too. All right. So then Becca basically encourages Emily that she's always trying her best. And she laments that none of them are getting laid, even though it's only 22 days until decision day. And then Claire tells the girls about Cameron's health problems. And I'll talk more about that when I do the Cameron and Claire section. But then when the couples are all playing pool, we see that Michael comes in and he delivers the wedding invites to them. And then Austin and Becca, they say that they can't come because they're going to go see um, Austin's grandma. And I'm like, really, Austin? Like, you do everything unsexy, but I guess they do got to go visit grandma. But this girl want to get laid, but we'll talk about it later. And then Brennan, Emily, and Claire all agreed to be there. And I wonder if Lauren and Orion going to be invited. Child, if I see them again, I hope Orion behaves. And that's basically it for Michael and Chloe this episode. So back to Claire. At the meetup, she basically tells the girls about Cameron's health problems, and she's saying how she felt like she was placed in his life to support him through this time. She's acting like Cameron has nobody, that he fell from a tree. And yes, he's not in New Zealand anymore, but he does have a little support network. So I feel like she's going over what she should in terms of, an ex being there for Cameron, because if she couldn't be there as his wife, the only reason why she's hovering now is because of the guilt for like dumping him, so she needs to stop, I think. And then in the episode, Claire also said that she had talked to Cam and he's doing okay, and that he told her to hang back for his surgery. Like, he even told her to back off. But she says she still wants to show him that she still cares and that he means a lot to her, but she needs to stop playing. She don't want him. And this wounded bird, act that Cameron is, putting on, it's more to make her feel bad. And I think it is working. But at the end of the day, I think he did have some kind of pre-existing health problem. The stress of the process maybe did exacerbate it, but Claire is operating out of a guilty conscience, and I don't think it's right for her to be, you know, giving him false hope and hovering around him like that. She just need to cut it off. So next couple, Austin and Becca. So the episode started with them going to a terrarium, and Austin says he loves plants, but the kick, or I don't know what the sexy part of this is, but they're basically gonna put like naked figurines and stuff in the terrarium to try to make it more like intimate, because I guess the theme of the episode is intimacy. But I thought that this was a flop. Like, playing around in dirt, putting little naked figures inside the dirt. I don't know if that turned Austin on any, but it didn't manifest in him doing anything with Becca, because we find out at after party that they still didn't do anything at the end of this episode. Now, Becca was asking Austin sex questions, and Austin was acting disinterested, except for like the topic of pegging, I guess he's interested in. But basically, Becca in a confessional said that she and Austin don't have these sex convos regularly. And then Austin and Becca have like a little scene right before Dr. Pia comes to talk to them. And she's interviewing him with like a fake pickle or something. And it was trying to be cute, but this couple, they give me less hope each episode that it's going to work out. So then Austin says he moves slower than most when Dr. Pia comes. I think an after party says it usually takes 3 to 6 months to do anything physical with the partner on average. And then Becca says that she doesn't feel as desired in this relationship as she has in past relationships. And then Austin says he ultimately feels pressure about, when he will be ready to have relations. And Becca says she'd be happy with just even making out longer. And then Austin's like, well, we do make out, but then she's like, nah, man, we gotta go further. And when it comes to like foreplay and stuff, she said it doesn't even have to be sexual, but hopefully he could send her more flirty texts, or even looks like he wants her more, but obviously she's picking up that he don't really want her. And then Dr. Pia advised him to just remove all expectations. And then in the next scene, you see them, they get an intimacy Easter basket from Dr. Pia. And it's supposed to be designed to enhance trust, but it got all kind of blindfolds and dildos and freaky stuff inside. But they don't really use it. They basically use the blindfold, and then Austin has Becca crawling around all over the floor during the exercise, and it just looked like she was down bad. I did not like this. And then it looked like they was making out and going to do something in the bed at the end of the episode. But again, we find out on after party from Emily that nothing happen. Emily said that they live above and I guess directly below each other. So she heard when Austin and Becca was like crawling around and stuff on the floor, but she didn't hear no sex noises. Apparently she talked to Becca about it, and Becca said that not only did they not have relations, but poor Becca told Emily that when she tried to initiate foreplay with Austin, he pushed her off of him and said, "Get off me, horny girl." And then Austin was like, wait, it was a joke. And then Emily said that even though it was a joke, Becca said her feelings really got hurt. And it's sad because Austin does not want this girl, and he's stringing her along. And he might give her sympathy relations later on, but it's not worth it. Just all the begging and the crawling. My pride wouldn't even make me want it after. So next, and the main meat of the episode for me, Brandon and Emily. And Brandon is continuing his angry man rampage, and he acting like everything's cool. When the episode starts, he's like, I wasn't in the mood to talk inside, but now I'm good. And that's the problem. Everything is on his term. When he don't want to talk, nothing pops up. When he wants to talk, then he thinks that everything should be resolved. But that's not how life works. He's not considering Emily at all. And it's really annoying to watch. He basically promises that he's going to try to be more civil in the future. And her confessional, Emily's like, his apologies don't mean nothing because literally it's like Groundhog's Day. Rinse, wash, repeat. He get mad. He treats her funny. He talks to her wrong. And then she used to not react, but I think now she is reacting more, which makes him even more upset. So after, he decides that he's not mad anymore, she goes along to get along and plays nice for a while. Then she gets resentful all over again, and then the whole cycle just starts again, and it's just annoying. So then Brennan brings up Dr. Pepper's letter to the younger self. And he's like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I always think it's funny how Brennan is open to everything that Dr. Pepper says, but he does not like anything that Dr. Pia says. And it's a pattern now. So I'm watching him. I don't know if it's because Dr. Pia is black. I don't know if it's maybe he's secretly attracted to her, or he just doesn't like the fact that Dr. Pia calls him out. But there's some kind of transference going on with Dr. Pia with Brennan, and he don't see it for her. She brings out the angry side that he tries to hide, and you'll see it later on, in the episode. So they do the letter to the younger self, and usually when they do the letters to the younger self, it's after all the couples go visit, their childhood homes or their neighborhoods or their high school and all that stuff. And Brennan and Emily did do like a soccer game and talk about their childhood this episode, because Emily says she used to play soccer, and Brennan says that he also used to play soccer and baseball, but it was after the letters, so it's weird how they just did the letters dry like that in the house and just read it to each other, because that's not usually how they do it. But maybe even the producers gave up on this season, because I think they're the only couple that did the letters. So I think because they knew the couples were at totally different places, they had Becca and Austin do the intimacy week the same week as um, Emily and Brennan doing the letter to the younger self episode, instead of in the past when they had all the couples do the letters to the younger self one week and then all the couples do the intimacy exercises next week. It's not enough couples, and there's no faking it with Brennan and Emily especially. So it's interesting the way they did the letters. And then again, after the you know the Dr. Pepper letter stuff, they play soccer. And then in this scene you see Emily really trying to gain back her self-confidence in a way, because she's tapping back into her victories and her success as a soccer player. And she's kind of bragging on herself, and Brennan actually compliments her a little bit. But then she goes back to shading him at the end of the conversation and saying how she doesn't give up on things and she doesn't give up on her team or people. And he caught the shade, and then he started being mute again at the end of the episode. You could see that, like, the passive aggressive stuff is not lost on him. And again, he's been treating Emily funny. She tries to go along to get along, but then she does get her lick back and make these little passive aggressive comments, as you'll see later in the episode. So that Dr. Pia comes, and then even though Brennan, tried to tell her, hey, after the soccer game, things were good. I'm feeling good. That's what he was saying in the confessionals. He's expecting things to be reported as good, because I guess they're doing good in the moment to him. But Emily just starts basically dry snitching about how bad everything is, and Brennan gets upset. And one of the main things that got him upset was when um, Emily snitches that they did not do her exercise to touch. And she says, well, Brennan just said he just wanted a hug. So that's what we did. And then Brandon was like, no, 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 no. His anger came out a little bit. He's like, why are you acting like you didn't agree to do it? But Emily was like, basically, like, it's on your terms. Like, the way he suggested it was like, yeah, I'm not doing Dr. Pia's exercise. I don't like it. So how about we just hug? And she was like, all right, as a compromise, then talk to me more. But it definitely wasn't an agreement. He said he's not doing it, and that's what he forgets. But to be fair to him, as much as, Brennan is playing in all our faces and not into Emily at all, Emily does have a low passive aggressive side. And, she does agree to things in Brennan's face, but then she gets her lick back after the fact, like now with her snitching. And it is kind of a little bit of like a bad, maybe annoying trait that is getting under Brennan's skin. And her passive aggressive side actually came out on After Party with Keisha, because she tried to argue with Keisha when she herself didn't understand the difference between telling the facts of her marriage versus the interpretation of feelings of went on. And she was saying like passive aggressive stuff at Keisha, like maybe you should ask another question, when she got frustrated with the question. But Keisha was like, no, I'm asking you a question. Just because you don't understand the difference between telling me a fact and your feelings, don't treat me like I'm the enemy. I'm not your enemy. So again, I see that Emily's frustrated and she maybe does not react the best ways because of her frustration. And it probably does get under Brennan's skin. But Brennan was the one that created this environment because she was in it to win it. And he's been putting up walls left and right. So it's a bad scene and they are not going to make it. So, in terms of my predictions, actually, Michael and Chloe are going to be my number one now, because I think that his glow up on After Party, looking dapper, it has to be thanks to Chloe. So they're probably together and happy, and she's using her perfection powers for good. I think Austin and Becca, he's gonna just feel sorry for her, I think, and like cave, maybe do sympathy sex and stay in a relationship longer than maybe he should. So they'll have something, but I don't think their foundation is solid at all. But he don't want to hurt her, and she's into it. So they're second place for now, because at least they feel something for each other, even if Austin's feeling more pity and Becca's feeling more, infatuation. But we shall see. And then Brennan, Emily, Cameron, Claire, Lauren, Orion, all their relationships are dumpster fires. And that's Divorce Central. So let's see what happens next time. Make sure you share your comments. And remember, you are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye.